and like I said, we already have gone to priority colleges and made offers to them. And we will actually now in the middle of putting the NQT test together for at a national level. So that will also bring in significant numbers for us. So I'm very excited about getting the campus hires coming into TCS, and experienced hires will get them as depending on the business demand.
Thank you. Shivani Shinde, Business Standard.
Hi, gentlemen. Good evening. Hi, Kriti. I mean, everybody's asked. I mean, most of us have asked this TCV question, but could you give us what's been the boost to get this $13 billion, TCV? What happened in this quarter, if you could? Because you still, I mean, if you look at US, if you look at BFSI, it's still slow. So if you could make us understand that a little bit. NGS, what plans going ahead? And hopefully we'll obviously be in touch with you. Another one, Kriti, do we see TCS having a CEO role? Will that model continue? Samir, more headroom? Do we still see margin play? I mean, do you see more improvement coming for this year? And Milind, do we assume the 40,000 number that is what average TCS does in terms of hiring from campuses? Will it continue? Also on the salary hikes, if you could just give us the number, what's been the average number? Thanks.
Shivani, on the TCV side, like NGS mentioned, excepting one large deal, this is made up of regular size deals only. So, but I think it's also, if you look at, though we don't publish a geography level or industry level TCV, almost every geography, every industry practice has had a higher TCV. It only represents what's happening in the market. Customers are, there are both kinds of deals, right? We keep talking about both the transformation deals as well as cost optimization deals. So there is a tendency on the customers to conserve cost and use that on transformation. So like, because they cannot delay the transformation while you're trying to conserve cost for long. So that I believe is that's what is happening. There is an acceleration of cost optimization, and slowly they're investing on transformation. As I mentioned, the TCV that we have been getting is yielding revenue as well. It is some of the old programs that which get ramped down, that is decelerating or not helping us grow faster. So, but there is no specific one-off here on one specific what do you call theme that's driving the growth. But of course, as I mentioned, overall our Gen AI pipeline also has doubled. It's 900 million, but that's not the only reason for the growth. It's, I think, all-round customer interest in doing new things. On the COO part, as you know, he's been doing many things, and no one single individual can replace him. Our current thinking is our leadership team, we are distributing the work that he's been doing, and we don't intend to appoint a new COO for now.
I think as far as the deals are concerned, it's a lot of hard work, number one, right? I think I want to give that credit to the people in the front facing the market and facing the customers. And it's also demonstrate the superior value proposition and the, being with the customer in good times and bad times and listening to them. I think all that constitutes why we clocked 13.2 billion, of deals. As far as my plans, be the first one to chair TCS from outside. Yeah.
So Shivani, on the headrooms, we'll always be happy with more. As we have said, we always believed 26 to 28 is where we need to operate in. If you look at where we are exiting right now at 26 is what we are very happy with. In the last 3 quarters, in each of the 3 quarters, we have been able to deliver sequentially almost 100 basis points in each of the quarters. So hope the journey continues.
So we plan to get to that number, 40,000. We'll see how it goes, but that is the plan right now as we go. With respect to wage hikes, yes, I'm very, very pleased to announce wage hikes for everyone starting April. And the wage hike will range from 4.5 to 7% in depending on the performance, and then top performers getting double-digit hikes.
Thank you. Tushardeep Singh from NDTV Profit.
Hi, gentlemen. First of all, how are you seeing the ramp up of deals happening in the US at this point of time? Is the conversion still taking time from the signing of a deal to actual implementation? What are the kind of deals that are coming in? Are you targeting larger deals spanned out over several years, or are discretionary deals trying to come back at this point of time? What are the client conversations like in that case? A second question will be your client mix. You have 62 clients in the 100 million band. That's only 2 up year on year. 139 in the $50 million dollar band. So are you trying to target, what will be the target where you get at the clients at this point of time?
Okay.
No, I think I would say that deal ramp ups, as I explained, I think there are deals of all sizes, and we see several small deals which need to be executed. Let's say within a year constitutes a good chunk, right? But having said that, customers want to make sure that the technology choices that they are making is the right choice. Second is AI is something willy-nilly embedded into this whole thing, and there are larger questions to be answered in terms of what is it that will I use LLM? Will I not use LLM? If I use LLM, will I put it inside? Will I put it outside? So they're all very million-dollar questions that there are no silver bullets at this point in time. So it takes time to do this, and we have to keep our options open and convince the customers that they have the ability to keep changing it as things get clearer. And that's what we are focused on, and we are executing it. There are multiple things, and we're extremely proud of the fact that, for example, how do we embed an algorithm in a smart contract in a blockchain? We got a patent for that. So we are embedding some of those things into our solutions. Type of deals are, for example, how do you quickly and optimize on the fly do pricing of products and assortments in a retail segment, or how do we help aircraft maintenance engineers to do their job a lot more swiftly and predictably? So many such use cases have come, projects are getting executed. So as far as the ramp up of the deals are concerned, it is contingent on the fact that the first phase, how can I quickly do and then get on with it. But the non-discretionary ones, there are no issues. We go and take it. If especially on optimization projects that we are engaged with, whether it is from vendor consolidation or otherwise, we don't see a problem. We are able to ramp up to the pace at which the customer wants, and the discretionary spend. These are all the situations.
See, on the client metric, we are quite happy. Like we see on a low growth year, we still able to get 2 more customers in the 100 plus band, and we also increased in almost all the bands. Okay, so we are quite happy with the client conversion.
Thank you. Ashish from PTI.
So this is a follow-up to your comment about short-term deals being good ones for the company. So in the pipeline which you see, has there been any change on what you are chasing more aggressively? Because the longer-term ones probably are not ramping up the way you would expect them to. And second, on the India business, how much more muscle left? Would you sort of see similar numbers from India going forward as well? This is BSNL or beyond BSNL as well?
I think, we always said that, look, there is a good mix of size of the deals that are required, right? We need the mega deals, we need the larger deals, we need a good chunk of small, mid-sized deals, right? I think that trend is continuing, and we are happy with that deal mix that we are signing. And that's very, very broad-based across, if you take energy, resources, utilities, it's pretty much, on a strong growth wicket, right? That vertical is growing significantly for us. Consumer business, we have seen it I think, turned around, and this quarter is much better than the last quarter. And banking financial services, while it's a kind of a flattish, but we are happy with the engagements that we have, the kind of projects and discussions that we are having. About 4 billion plus worth of TCV in this out of the 13 billion is coming from BFSI. So we have no concerns per se with respect to the opportunities that we see in the market, whether it is on the cost optimization side or on the transformation program side. And we are engaging with each one of this, and we are converting those deals, right? So there is no dearth of opportunities per se. The execution, people are taking time to pace it out, especially on the non-discretionary front, as I explained, right? As far as India is concerned, we believe that India is in a significantly growth path. Several large opportunities are available. At the same time, it's a very, very difficult to win some of those things, because the kind of things that you need to bring them together, because large scale projects, it will be a huge SI-driven project. Some will be your services, majority, some will be third-party products, and the payment terms, that all of that we'll have to put together. But I think the BSNL type of large deals certainly are available in the market, and we always calibrated in terms of saying that which one that we want to participate, where we want to do it. And I think we have taken, if memory serves right, every year we do one of this, at least one of this. For example, Passport Seva, something that we took it up. And then Ministry of Company Affairs is something that we took it up. And it goes back to the times when National Stock Exchange came up, right? From there on, I think we've taken nation building projects, as we call it. At least one, every 1 or 2 years, that we take it and we strongly execute it. And we're proud of the fact that, look, we've been part of that journey, and that journey will definitely continue. And India is a very strong home market for us.
Thank you. Next from Arshada Sawant from CNBC Awaaz.
Good evening, gentlemen. We'll definitely miss having you around, NGS. If you could also give me an idea, because I remember last quarter you said you didn't have a visibility window beyond 15 days. Has that window, I'm assuming it's improved and you've got far better visibility. What does that entail for the future? And Kriti, I remember when you took over, you said it's very difficult to call on when the cycle is going to turn in favor. Given the macro environment and given the data that's coming from US, are you hopeful, if not confident, that perhaps H2 would be far better in FY25, if not the first half?
I think I would say it's visibility is improved, right? But depends on whom you talk to. And if you speak to the guy who is standing next there, Amit Kapoor, UK, you will say, I got fantastic visibility. The guy who is standing next to him is Anupam Singhal, who runs manufacturing. He will say that, look, in North America, it is better, whereas in Europe, it is not that great. So it is a mixed bag. But I think clearly, from 15 days uncertainty to, I think I would say, a quarter of visibility is there, and the customers are taking those decisions. It's not that they're not taking those decisions, but they're also a bit constrained in the fact that, look, what's going to happen to all the elections that's happening across the world, and the whole technology wave, where is it going to play out? Is regulations is going to come or not? The artificial intelligence side. So many of these things are bothering them. So discretionary spend is a bit, lopsided, I'll put it this way, right? But otherwise, we are better today than what we were a quarter ago.
See, he answered for me as well. Like, it will be very difficult to say when the growth would return. But we've been, in fact, there's probably the best guidance we are given, right? FY25 will be better than FY24, and that's what we believe. It's I don't want to say H1 would be better than H2 or otherwise. Like, it's I don't want to call that at this time.
Ekta Suri from Z Business.
Good evening, gentlemen. NGS sir, you will be definitely missed. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि स्टार्टअप कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में जब हम जाते हैं तो उनको पता लगता है कि कोई लेजेंड जो है अगर इंडस्ट्री से रिटायर हो रहे हैं, सो यू नो आई हैव टॉक टू लॉट ऑफ स्टार्टअप फाउंडर्स, वो सब ये कहते हैं कि शायद हम अब मेल करेंगे, हमें मेंटरिंग का एक मौका मिल सकता है. एनी सच प्लान्स फॉर द स्टार्टअप सेक्टर?
Nobody has approached me at least.
But
So
maybe they were waiting for you last
no,
day.
no. I think opportunities that I think there are. One of the good things that I've always enjoyed is talking to youngsters, inspire them, and actually get inspired by them. Right. So I would look forward to such engagements. Right. As long as it doesn't conflict with TCS. Yeah.
Why would we lose the opportunity of using him for mentoring our own people?
क्योंकि सर आपने बोला इंडिया में बहुत ग्रोथ आपने देखी है इस क्वार्टर में, आप इसको आगे किस तरह से देख रहे हैं और कौन से सेक्टर से आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि ज्यादा डिमांड आ सकती है, एंड एनीथिंग टीसीएस इज डूइंग इन दीज इलेक्शंस?
See, for the election, in fact, we are actually doing work for the election commission as well. But we don't do the voting machines or anything, but we do help them. But we do get involved in a lot of projects, and in multiple sector, multiple government agencies, we are doing projects, and we do expect to get more projects from multiple agencies. Like you said, India is a phenomenal growth story. And what we do today in India is much smaller than what we think is opportunity in this country. So we would continue to be very focused on this.
थैंक यू सर. एंड समीर सर, आप आगे और मार्जिन्स किस तरह से इंप्रूव करने के बारे में आपकी क्या स्ट्रैटेजी होने वाली है आगे? एंड आल्सो इज इट ट्रू दैट आई रेड समवेयर दैट बहुत से ऐसे ग्लोबल ब्रांड्स हैं जो आउटसोर्सिंग में अब थोड़ा कम डिमांड कम विश्वास रख रहे हैं और खुद का अपना डेटा सेंटर्स या अपने टेक सेंटर्स में ज्यादा भरोसा दिखा रहे हैं? आपने ऐसा ट्रेंड देखा है मार्केट में?
So ये trend नया नहीं है. I'm answering your second question first. But we have always coexisted and for over the years. Coming to on the margins, I think first what we have delivered, we are very happy with. And incrementally, with focus on disciplined execution, we can look at pyramid, productivity, utilization as the levers. And we believe pricing will be a lever to deliver incremental margins.
Thank you, sir. And when sir, हम BFSI में हल्की गिरावट देख रहे हैं, is it like now there'll be like, how do I put it, man power जो लगती है प्रोजेक्ट्स को केटर करने के लिए, डिमांड जो कम है, is it true कि अब कम लोगों की जरूरत पड़ी है, and if so why?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं. जो एक्चुअली जो आप देख रहे हैं डिमांड में और जो नंबर्स में नेगेटिव है, उसका कोई कोरिलेशन नहीं है. कि हम लोग जैसा बताया, समीर ने बताया कि बहुत सारा हमारा प्रोडक्टिविटी इनिशिएटिव चल रहा है हमारे पास. मैंने बहुत साल क्वार्टर से बोलते आ रहा हूँ कि बहुत सारे ट्रेनिंग्स को हमने भी हायर किया था, उनको भी ट्रेन करके अभी डिप्लॉय किया है. वो सब चीजें मिला के वो हेडकाउंट नीचे आता है. तो इट इज नथिंग टू डू विथ demand. I would request you not to correlate the demand with negative headcount.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Rosuke Hanada from Nikkei.
Hi, good evening, sir. I would like to ask about the impact of the global geopolitical tensions on the financial result. Some people say that some of the Western companies, such as the United States, shift from China to India, especially for the manufacturing sector. Do you believe that the same shift is also happening in IT sector? And if so, does the TCS is benefit from such kind of the global changes? I would like to know about your views.
No, I don't think, I think while there are supply chain rebalancing aspects that many organizations followed, I don't think it resulted in, things getting moved from one country to the other, right? They always, I think, calibrated the fact that it is, even in the case of China, it's always looked at as China plus one or China plus two. The whole idea was to make sure the supply chains become resilient, right? I think that has been the focus of, at least in our customer base, right? We execute projects in China. We have a strong development center in China. And for our international customers who are having operations in China, we continue to serve them out of China. I don't see any particular pattern by which I can conclude that things are moving from China to India or elsewhere as far as the IT industry is concerned, right?
Varun Sood from Mint.
Hi, gentlemen. Two questions, sir. In this year, 2/3 of your business has grown less than the company average of 4.1%. Depending on the numbers you share with us, geography-wise, domain-wise, and primarily much of the growth is led by India, regional markets, and platforms. So for 25, FY25, should a similar trajectory be seen that some of these regional markets, products, and platforms will lead the growth, or you expect some of the core businesses, that is in US and BFSI, to also perhaps see a turnaround? And is that the reason why, which is giving you confidence that FY25 will be better than FY24? That's the first. The second question, sir, Milind just remarked that we should not look at demand with regards to employee headcount. But if we look at the last 7-8 years, hiring often becomes a leading indicator on a company's performance. This is perhaps the first time in the last 4 quarters, each of your 4 quarters, you've seen an employee reduction, the employee headcount. Yet your growth is a little better. Is this finally changing because at the base and the scale TCS is, that for TCS at least, the future growth will not be linked to headcount, or are we reading these numbers wrong? Thank you.
The first question you asked about regional markets versus major markets. We do believe, first of all, the regional markets will continue to grow, and we believe they should play. Currently, the contribution of the regional markets or the non-major markets, if you can, is quite small. But we believe there's much greater potential in India, Latin America, and other markets, and we should continue to focus. So definitely that will be one important driver for our growth. But having said that, it's the confidence, the reason that we say FY25 would be better than 24 is also based on the fact that we believe the major markets also should start turning around sometime. Like, I don't want to say which quarter, but it's coming from both aspects. It's not purely based on the regional markets alone. The second one, what Milind talked about, is don't link it directly. Is also one, definitely we continue to drive efficiencies. We continue to look at where we can better deploy our associates, and where we can take the trainees ahead of time. So maybe let's say in Q1 or Q2, we take trainees, or headcount may go up, but the training process may take about 6 months or 9 months before we start deploying them. So to say that this quarter the headcount went up, so the immediate next quarter the revenue should go up, may not be a correlation. And 2 factors are at work. Like, one, we take freshers, we continue to train them over a period of time. Second factor at work is we continue to look for efficiency opportunities. So both of these things play, so that there is no linearity between the headcount increase and the revenue increase.
All right, Dibangana Ghosh from Money Control.
Hello, gentlemen. I think most of the questions have been asked already, so I just have a couple of follow-up queries. Firstly, Kriti, to you, I had one follow-up on the India market. So, because most of these are like public service projects, so wanted to understand what is the margin? How does the margin profile play out for TCS here? And beyond public services projects, what are the other opportunities are you seeing in India? Secondly, and also from an overall business and global perspective, which are the other newer segments, areas you are seeing where which TCS is bullish on and might want to expand in FY25? Milind, I have one follow-up. Um, I think last year you were targeting to onboard for 40,000 freshers. So just wanted to get a sense, have all of the associates been onboarded so far? Um, and Samir, one follow-up. Um, how much of the margin is coming from slashing subcontracting cost, and will this kind of continue to fall further in the upcoming quarters? And yes, sir, you're probably your last quarter. So just one question, will you continue in any of the other sister companies of Tata Group?
So first on the margin, India margin profile, like we are not disclosing the margin at each segment level or geography level. We not disclose that, but we always at the same time we are not going to be sacrificing margin in a specific geography just for growth. But each geography has its own characteristic. Okay, and when you look at overall portfolio of regions, it balances out. So we know what margin we need to operate, what is a competitive margin, what we should do in this country. And second, from the client perspective, it's just not the public services. Public services deals that you come to know of them quickly because they are in the public domain. But we do work with many private sector enterprises. We work with many of the large banks in India and other industries as well. So, and we think that there is a greater opportunity to go beyond. From a new segment perspective, definitely we look at like we've been invested in geographies like Latin America for a long time. We've been invested in geographies like Middle East and Asia Pacific. We believe all these geographies, particularly all the emerging economies you see, are growing faster than the major economies. So it's an opportunity for us to participate in the growth of these all these geographies, and they are the ones that are looking for global capability and global best practices in each of them. So that's the way we are looking at the new segments.
I had a follow-up, like overall also, which are the newer areas that TCS will be bullish on in FY25? Where do you see the business expanding?
No, like as I said, definitely this year, if you look at the emerging markets, far outperformed the major markets, and that is definitely area of focus for us in the coming year also. Like regional markets, we expect to outperform the major markets, but the base is small, right? It's how much it will move the needle, we need to see, but we do expect those markets to do well.
And segment-wise?
Segment wise, I don't think this itself is a lot of guidance for you, but
Milind?
Yeah, I think we have onboarded most of the freshers this year, but there are few remaining which will, if not most, if not basically, will all the freshers remaining will onboard in this quarter.
On the fees to external consultants, I think during the year we have been able to significantly leverage on that lever. And as I called out earlier, we feel we have bottomed out. It will still depend on how the overall scenario plays out during the year, but we have brought it down to a considerably low level, and we should see an uptick from here.
As you know, I mean, this is not probably the last quarter. This is the last quarter, right? I'm playing some non-executive role in a couple of other companies, as you may know, and they're all at the pleasure of the group. Okay.
We'll now go to the online journalists who've been patiently waiting by. So we'll start with Surbhi Agarwal from Economic Times. Surbhi, you can switch on your audio and video and ask your question.
Thank you, Kritika. Hello, everyone. I just have a couple of questions. One is I wanted to understand that this revenue growth at 3.5% yearly and 2.2% sequentially in the quarter, fourth quarter. What can we attribute that to? Is that majority of that coming from the regional markets, non-core, sort of non-US, non-European markets? And this TCV that you're talking about, 13.2 billion, do we have a split of how much of that is from, say, US or Europe, and how much is that from non-core markets? Could you explain that to us? And also, we haven't heard on really what is your outlook on BFSI and US. If you could just talk a little bit about what are clients saying in these markets, what are the broad trends, what can we expect in 25? It'll help me understand the year better. I have a couple of more questions. I'll pause here.
Surbi, on the market growth, I think we have published that, right? Like, Samir, like that's we have published.
Yeah,
that.
the
Market growth has been published. Like, the primary growth came from UK, definitely on a sequential basis, and regional markets, including India. And I think North America was mildly negative and or negative, right? North America was marginally flattish, and Europe was also there's a negative, and all the regional markets grew. I think that's been published. In TCV terms, similarly, we have mentioned that North America had a 5 billion plus, and BFSI had a 4 billion plus TCV. And we have not been publishing for, and I think CBG had about 1.5, 1.3 billion TCV. We've not been publishing the TCV for other segments at this time.
Okay, but Kriti, can you give us a sense of where are a maximum of these deals coming from? Like you said, let me word it like this. You earlier spoke about your regional market strategy. Is that paying off in these tough times when growth is hard to find in your key markets of US and Europe? Has your regional strategy played off in growing at such a tough time for the industry?
See, definitely when you see a 20% or 30% kind of growth, you see that it is supporting our overall growth in a tough environment. But as I said, the base is small, so it cannot move the needle very much. But it provides a support at of this one. You can looking at the number, you should be able to decipher. Like at the 1.1%, maybe about 0.5, 0.6 could be contributed to the regional markets. So you can do the math, or I can do the math. It's not complex. From a TCV perspective, definitely it's coming a lot from the major markets. There would be some contribution also from we do have some interesting deals coming from Asia Pacific and Middle East Africa, but a significant portion still continues from the major markets.
Sure. And on BFSI in North America, would you want to just comment a little bit about what are you seeing, the key trends that you're seeing?
We've been seeing like they say it's not that they're hugely negative. They've been sort of flattish, both BFSI and North America. So we do expect them to turn around, but I don't want to call it whether in Q1 or Q2, but we do expect them to turn around sometime soon.
All right. Thank you, Surbi.
Kritika, just 1 second. I have a couple of more questions. I want to know how much is the sequential increase in revenue for Q4? And also, I think the operating margin has come at 26%. However, net margin is at 20.3%. So what is the reason for this 6 percentage point decline? And how much has the net income grown sequentially?
The sequential revenue growth is 1.1%. The operating to net margin, I'll let Samir give you the data.
So from operating to net, we have forex, other income, treasury income, which are positives, and taxation, which is deducted from it, leading to the 20.3%. If you historically look at it, that would be the gap always, and taxation being the major reason.
All right.
Right. But Samir, when you say the margin band is 26 to 28%, that would be of net income or of operating margin? Sorry, I lost you.
It's for EBIT operating income.
All right. Thank you so much, and best wishes to NGS.
Thank you.
Next question from Sankalp Fartial from Bloomberg. Sankalp, you can ask your question. Go ahead. Sankalp, we don't have your audio. You'll have to switch your audio on. Okay, I think we have some issue with Sankalp's audio. We'll go to Sai Ishwar from Reuters. Sai, can you switch on your audio and video, please?
Hi, gentlemen. Two questions. One quick question is that all the macros we are seeing is that we might see rate cuts this year, and even if you look at the global tech results of Google and Amazon, that they've improved. So what exactly is holding back the spending in terms of the US market? Is it because of the election year? Do you think once that eases out, some improvement would be there. And another question is that 900 million you had given on AI and Gen AI deals. I just want to know the nature of this. Is it eating into the core business of IT spending, or is it coming from the discretionary part? So I just wanted to know how Gen AI, will it become a separate revenue stream altogether, which will eat into the core revenues? Thank you.
No, I'll answer the second question first, which is the AI deals. AI deals certainly are not eating into the other typical spend that we do. Most of the AI deals are typically embedded into the large transformation programs or efficiency programs that we undertake. I gave you certain examples like, for example, the pricing and assortment type of thing, or automated maintenance and generation of, let's say, three-dimensional models for home improvements. So many such projects are something we are undertaking. And they're all, focused small projects which are going to help make decisions and help improve the efficiencies at the customer side or at the internal departmental side, right? And as I always explained, the decision to employ AI or deploy AI into the front side, customer experience side, they are being under experimentation, but they are not deployed yet because of the issues related to how do we make things responsible and more authentic at the same time, whether it is regulated or otherwise, right? So first question you want to answer? What was that? What is the first question of yours, Ayeshwar?
Sai, can you take your first question again?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, what is exactly holding back the spending in North America? We are seeing all the macros easing, but what are your clients saying? Is it because of the election year, probably why they're holding back?
As I said, I think, the non-discretionary part of it, there is no holding back. I think we are all executing it. And likewise, if there is a vendor consolidation opportunities that we are bidding, they're all getting executed. They're all coming through, no issues. But discretionary spends, there are certainly things are being held back for reasons that you also highlighted. Like it could be election, it could be wars, it could be others. But generally, I think these are the two geopolitical macro reasons. But at the same time, the decisioning on the architectures and how future-proof it is something that is holding back some of the, or delaying the spend on discretionary spend, right?
All right. Last question then from Ayushi Kar. Ayushi, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Ayushi Kar from Hindu Business Line.
Am I audible?
Yes, Ayushi, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, gentlemen. I have this question for NGS, sir, particularly because he's leaving this quarter. I really wanted to understand regarding the BSNL rollout and where we are at the moment. And as you hand the torch to the management, where do you see, how would you expect them to take it up going forward?
Yeah, BSNL program is going well. I think we have installed close to about 10,000 towers worth of equipments. A good number of them are carrying commercial traffic. So we are slightly delayed to what we originally planned. But then, the opportunity is there to catch up. And then much of the validation, verification, integration with the Museum of Technologies that needs to be done is all being done. The coexistence of the new network with the existing 2G, 3G network, they're all validated. They're all working fine. Now we are at a stage where the opportunity is there to accelerate it. All the suppliers who are going to supply the antennas, digital microwaves, as well as the radios, they've all been secured, and they're all will be in place before the end of third quarter. And then afterwards, that we will take a quarter or two to complete the rollout, optimize the network, optimize the radios, and And I think we are in a good place as far as the technology is concerned, completely indigenous technology, and it's comparable to some of the incumbent, and all the KPIs are being benchmarked by us, by BSNL, by everyone. So we're very proud of what we have accomplished as a team and as a consortium with CDOT and Tejas Networks and various others. It's been a phenomenal achievement to do something like this at this scale on a completely indigenous basis.
Right. Can you give us, Kriti sir, can you give us an idea or any particular targets of how, what are your rollout targets going forward in the next year for BSNL?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Repeat your question.
Repeat rollout target.
Yeah, rollout targets for FY25.
As I said, most of the supplies that we need from various partners, we'll get it by 4 September, and we will take a quarter or two to complete the rollout, right? And I think the pace at which we are doing will get accelerated as we move forward. But there are various aspects that we need to worry about. As I said, it's not just the installation, and we need to go about commissioning it, and we need to go about optimizing it cluster by cluster. There's a lot of work to do, but I think, it will take, in my opinion, next about 3 to 4 quarters, we should be able to complete at least the initial contract that we have had from BSNL.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayushi. We weren't able to get Sankar back, but he has sent his question. So to NGS, how much of return in tech spending is TCS expecting, given that it's widely expected that the Fed could cut rates?
Sorry, I didn't.
Tech spending.
Return in tech spending in North America.
I think tech spending per se, if you really look at it, the budgets are not contracting. I'll put it this way, right? It's at the same levels as I see it, and in some cases it's increasing. And overall, I think the pie in which they want to spend, if I really look at, there are clearly cybersecurity, supply chain resilience, AI-related aspects. Payments is a big opportunity. Everybody is looking at payments rationalization, risk management, especially Basel III type of opportunities, and they are all looking at it. So there are, pockets in which, they all have earmarked budgets. They want to spend, they want to accelerate it. At the same time, the cloud journey is picking up pace, continue to pick up pace. And there is they all went in with one cloud, and now they are saying that, look, can I go and do a multi-cloud, and can I de-risk it? Especially the need for a private cloud is something coming up, because as they embark and train models for artificial intelligence, using their data, using their knowledge, which one they want to put it in the public domain, which one they want to, how much of it they want to put it in the private domain. These are all the calibrations that are taking place, but I do not see fundamentally anything wrong with that technology spend. And if only, I think some of the macroeconomic situations improve, my own, predicting is difficult, but my own belief at this point in time is that tech spend should actually get increased.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of this earnings press conference. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a nice Friday evening.